Many people talk about changing the world, and it can sound very cliched. But even if it does, it's what I believe. Changing the world in the sense of tikkun olam, perfecting the world, taking what's there and empowering people to make it better. How do you do that? What we believe is it's one person at a time. Investing in people, empowering people to better themselves, empowering people to undertake research, develop their careers in ways that they might not otherwise, empowering kids who have no opportunities to better themselves through education. One of the first and most beloved programs of the Foundation is to collect and publish the memoirs of Holocaust survivors who came to Canada after the war. The program evolved over time into a very innovative and extensive program in Holocaust education, which we run across Canada, working with high school students and university students. Sometimes, even when you invest in something that you know is excellent, that meets all your criteria of excellence, you don't always know what you're going to get. And probably the best example of that for us is our partnership with Hebrew University with the Center for Stem Cells and Genetic Research headed by Dr. Nissim Ben-Venisti. Recently, Nissim's lab had a breakthrough, something we knew nothing about, something actually nobody knew anything about, the creation of this haploid DNA cell, which is just incredible. Actually, paradigm-shifting breakthrough in science. We aim to create a warm and family atmosphere for our fellows. Our interest in them is not only just to give them their grant, but to help them develop their careers.
To me, the foundation is special beyond the financial support. For me, it was very much the mental support. They were really a great push on the way because it wasn't easy. And they were always there to ask how it's going and to tell me how wonderful they think it is what I'm doing. It was a personal connection right from the beginning.
But in some ways, who Albert Einstein was is the most relevant person for our age today. The need for human curiosity, the need for the tenacity behind human curiosity. So to me, Einstein, in a moment where the world has a lot of struggles, is really aspirationally somebody we can all be because he wasn't an academic elitist. He was a very human person who really had the human curiosity and tenacity to think of ideas no one thought of before. Everyone talks about convergent devices, and if you look at the history of the smartphone, it's the intimate device. I think what's really exciting for me is it's a convergent device also for science. And what that means specifically is most of the instrumentation in a science lab when I was young can now converge on a smartphone as well. It allows young people particularly to play with science, to engage in science as magic, secrets, and solving mysteries outside the classroom, even if their classroom does have a science lab. And that I think is going to be exciting. I think young people are going to engage with science as crowdsourcing data to the tune of hundreds of millions. And I think that begins that journey of intellectual curiosity and tenacity, because if they're helping scientists, maybe they can become a scientist. Or maybe that science inspires them to be an innovator or entrepreneur or an artist. How many other Einsteins did we not find? Well, they didn't have smartphones. Now we have no excuse to create the tools with those devices to engage young people, to find 10 million Einsteins, because the world needs at least 10 million or more to solve today's problems.
For me as a child, when people used to say to me, "You can do anything, the sky is the limit," I had a little problem with it, because I could look up to the sky and see it, but I felt that there's so much more. So reading and learning about Albert Einstein was something I could really identify with, because to hear him say things like imagination is more important than knowledge really connected with me strongly, because everything I've done in my life and do now, it's where I am in my imagination. Albert Einstein was an innovator. When I look at myself in the mirror, I never once thought of myself, oh, you're such an innovator. When it comes to innovation, you have to really connect to the seed of the project and make sure that within its DNA there's positive intentions of teaching and influencing children in a positive way. The Masada project in Israel, which was a mountain and a story that affected me emotionally very deeply as a child. I was 11 or 12, but it had an incredible message to the world about, let no man be another man's slave. That was the message for me that came out of Masada. So, funny enough, I found out that everything that was ever found by the archaeologists was stored at the Hebrew University. And I felt it's time for all this stuff to go back home, and I got involved in building the museum over there. We walk through life and we plant seeds as we walk, If we stop next to the seed we planted and wait for it to grow and give us fruit so we can benefit from this, we're wasting our life. We have to carry on walking, planting seeds, and planting seeds with positive DNA built in them. And then one day you look back and you see this gigantic forest, and it's all positive and beautiful, and it brings so many opportunities.
Barry's actually the author of some 43 families of patents on formulations alone. This is really quite interesting, and you say, well, obviously he had significant training in chemistry and pharmaceutical development. No, his area was maths and physics. He was an astrophysicist. That didn't help him in his formulations except tangentially. What he did do was he applied his intuition, his deductive reasoning, and his ability to think things through to get the formulations that were necessary. And it's resulted in amazing success, enabling Apotex to be the largest pharmaceutical company in Canada.
Certainly, over the last 100 years, so much of the economy has been driven by innovations in science and technology, and that's presumably going to continue for some time. It certainly makes sense to encourage young people to look at scientific fields because they provide for great opportunity for achievement. It's important that I think for parents to make sure that their kids understand from a young age that there are great opportunities, but they're only realized with hard work, and those who understand that and work hard from a young age to learn and to achieve have a high chance of success, but that motivation is fundamental.
The main resource of Israel is its people, and whatever we can do to develop that as chalutzim, as pioneers, we want to do.